That brightens it up a little bit. Let's see how we're doing here. Turning this on, getting it ready. All right. Hello, Jennifer. And where is all the regulars at today? Busy mind psychologist. Well, hello, Jessica. How are you? I did a video yesterday about busy mind syndrome, about the episode dropping. Yes. I hope you've been able to promote it well. Just caught up on Monday's episode. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, Jennifer. Actually, Jessica is on this feed right now on Instagram. You can say hi to her. She is Busy Mind Psychologist. Lee Kenton, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Egan in Florida, how are you? If you are watching this stream on Periscope or YouTube, make sure you comment, give me a like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of those things help others find the show. And also, if you are watching from either of those services, make sure you comment. That's how I know that you're there, because I am streaming and I don't have the interfaces of those. And it is, I don't know, are we having a good hair day or not, guys? It's kind of a toss up today. Look, you guys are making friends, Jessica and Jennifer. Right on. This is what the show is about. And so I had some things I wanted to discuss in the act realm today, but I guess we can get to that in a bit. Well, thank you, Jennifer. It's a work in progress this morning. So a couple of things. I was laughing. So you guys, you can now I'm being bothered by it. You can imagine in how I dress, how I look. I get a lot of lookalikes. Austin Powers being one of them, and I got Austin a bit, especially when I started wearing glasses more, because I wanted to look a little bit more studious in my older age. But I'll tell you, when you call me Austin Powers on YouTube and tell me to do Austin Powers impersonations, I'm not going to do it. I'm not here for your amusement in that way. I am here to spread knowledge and talk about philosophy and psychology and what we're doing at the Art of Charm and how it applies to what is going on in the world today. So, as I was going to sleep last night, I had noticed that Los Angeles had another unfortunate event in which a pedestrian was shot. I have not much information has come out. There was reports that he had a gun. I'm not going into more of the partisan garbage that everyone seems to be stuck in right now. However, it is unfortunate, and I hope for those families the best. And for the residents of Los Angeles to keep cool in this time where certainly the malevolent forces of the election cycle are in play, and they're trying to incite and stoke and mess with everyone's minds for their own agenda, for their own power grab. And I would like people to think through this clearly, as I have been stating since a lot of the civil strife has been started. It's awful. I hate it. And I don't like to see people succumb to, let's say, propaganda and agenda and power dynamics of the power that be. And you know how I feel about both parties. I don't like them. So anyway, that started last night. I wish Los Angeles well. As you guys know, part of the reason why I left is it was getting a little hairy there, and I needed the break. So now I'm in Los Angeles, soaking in the sun, getting healthy, exercising. I'm going to start running this week. I haven't run since COVID started, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Free candy. It is good to see you. I hope you're doing well in Austin. So now with all of that, I did want to talk about how, if you guys have been able to see the news and how it's just getting more and more hateful, more and more agenda filled. You can read it in just the headlines of the political marketing that is going on. And as you guys have been following the show, we've been talking about each component in marketing, from the optics, from the messaging, to the emotional grab to pull you in, to start to get you to think in one direction so that they can fill the story up with whatever evidence and data they can use to get you to side with that messaging. What's interesting about it is as the farther along that we go in this political cycle, though, the more overbearing it's going to be, to such a point where I've had to drop out of even paying attention to the news as little as I was, only because I find myself getting more and more upset every day because of how it's being played. It's difficult to want to keep up with the news in that fashion, but yet have to do so much work to maintain your sanity when you're getting hit with so much propaganda. And so here's my point. We're living in this weird time where we have a global pandemic and an important election, where we have mass civil strife, and we can talk about the reasonings for all of this until we're blue in the face. A lot of it is going to be speculation. A lot of it is going to be connecting the dots without any hard data to back up certain ideas. So I'm not, and as you guys know, I don't like to go into that stuff. I just like to talking about what is going on objectively and looking at it through the lens of self-development and how it is best for us to maneuver through it while it's going on. So there's 2 points here. Number one, it is an incredibly historic time certainly in my life, and I have never have had to deal with anything like it. And I would guess for most of you, it's in the same manner. So you want to be informed. You want to know what's going on. It's a heightened sense of what's going on in the world today, we're living through it. And so you want to experience it by being knowledgeable about what's going on. That's completely understandable. The problem is, the more you look into it to get informed, the harder it is not to be misled because of the agenda driving on both sides of the political aisle. It's incredibly difficult. And not only that, if it would be one thing if it was a bunch of sense-making ability and an objective fact-finding and finding your way through the messaging. That would be one thing. But it's not just that. For myself, it is my own sanity that I'm trying to protect while trying to gain clarity of the situation so that I can be informed. And so because of that, my own mental health has been taken the beating. And I'm sure for everybody it's like that. And especially, as I keep saying, we're stuck in this psychological experiment that none of us have signed up for, in which our social lives and how we used to fulfill that need of socialization has been taken from us. And we had to find other ways to do that. And granted, you can have all the Zoom meetings you want. You can get on the phone as much as possible. You can reconnect to people that you haven't talked to. And there's even people that I've talked to more now than I have in the past. The problem with that is it's all digital communication. The face-to-face socialization that we need to be able to read each other's micro expressions, to feel fulfilled and to have that need and desire to be quelled is still difficult. And there's only so much that you can do online. Things are a little bit more calmer out here in Vegas. And the other night I went out to the Bellagio. I had dinner and I was walking around the casino, and it was just, after being stuck in my studio in Los Angeles, it was just so nice to see so many people walking around. And for those who were at the tables, who were having dinner, smiling, enjoying themselves. I mean, do we really have an understanding to our need and desire to see smiling faces and to understand psychologically what those smiling faces do for our own well-being? Think about it. What do those smiling faces project? What do those smiling faces, how do they affect us internally? They show us acceptance. It shows us approval. It shows us attention. The three things that as human beings we need in order to feel safe, comfortable, to feel part of the group. Smiling goes such a long way in allowing the comfortability that everything's okay and that we're okay. And to have these masks on in public, it's difficult. We are 6 months into this whole thing now? And so for the rest of the week, or at least hopefully by the weekend, I'm going to try to find those opportunities where I can get out and socialize, or at least be in a social environment like a dinner, so I can see more smiling faces. Because I will tell you, the smiling faces that I'm getting from Zoom and the other ways that I've been socializing is great. It's been fun, but I'm looking to get back to some more normalcy. All right. Henson Fernandez over in YouTube says the quality is much better today. Well, thank you, buddy. I'm glad to hear that. I've been working on this setup. I still got to get this background fixed, but we're slowly getting there. Eric John, welcome. It's good to see you. Charlie, it is good to see you after church. Good to see you. All right. So, anti-gravity over in YouTube says peaceful. Thank you, buddy. So the other piece that I wanted to join today, or I'm sorry, what I wanted to do today. Oh, well, thank you, Eric. We're working on it. We're getting it. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is fear, and it's not fear in the actual physical state of fear. I wanted to look at fear in the way ACT, Acceptance Commitment Therapy, looks at fear as an acronym, as 4 reasons that you might have the physical feeling of fear. Gravity says, getting better every day, upping the quality of the show. Well, good. I'm glad. Well, we're working on it, my friend. So I don't know if for how many of you guys understand how this process works, but I'm going to try to give you enough for you to think about. And I really enjoy this concept. So fear is an acronym with 4 components to why you would hesitate into moving forward with something, why you would have the physical feelings of fear, why anxiety would go up. So, number 1 is F in fear. F is for fusion. Fusion is where our thoughts and our emotions are fused together, so that when I think about something, I immediately have an emotional tie to it. Now, it is perfectly natural to have emotions tied to your thoughts. However, you can do some mindfulness practice in which you separate, or at least be conscious of how your emotions are tied to those thoughts, so that you can begin to use a word that we're using right now in political landscape, the decoupling of those emotions to those thoughts. Because after all, they're just thoughts. And because they're just thoughts, regardless of how you feel about them, depends on how tied your emotions are to those thoughts. So let's just say that I have something new to do. Let's just say I have to go to the dentist. We'll say that. And my experiences with the dentist, like everybody's, has been left with mixed reviews. And so the initial thought of having to go to the dentist brings up emotions of fear, of not wanting to go, of anxiety. Why? Because of the pain that I might have to go through going to the dentist. Now, if I'm working through mindfulness, then I begin to understand that my thoughts are just that. And like a stream of consciousness, those thoughts are much like the water in a babbling brook. They're just rolling by. I can detach myself emotionally from the thoughts and allow them to be exactly what they are. Neurons firing, thoughts percolating. It's not until I tie those thoughts to emotions. And that usually comes from the experiences that I've had with those thoughts, or not having the experiences. The whole idea of walking into the unknown. But by practicing mindfulness, I can begin to come to an understanding that they are just thoughts. And the emotions that I have tied to them are just from my experiences or non-experiences, but they have nothing to do with the actual event itself. Now, number 2 is when our classes, the E in fear, which is tied to expectations. This is where I see a lot of people who find themselves analytically thinking, analytical people or problem-solving people, people who tend to overanalyze things, tend to get stuck here. When they think about things that are new to them or taking on projects, they immediately put up ridiculous expectations for themselves. because they have put up ridiculous expectations for themselves, the thought about getting started terrifies them, because it's not going to be easy to live up to those expectations. So now you have anxiety centered around getting started with something where the expectations cannot be met. Now, think about how you grew up. Did you grow up in a family of overachievers? Did you grow up in a household where the only grades that were acceptable were A+? If you have, then you've carried those same expectations into your adult life. And granted, we all want to do our best. We all want to perform at an A+ level at whatever it is we do. But the reality in doing things at an A+ level is incredibly difficult without stacking up failures that will allow us to learn how to do such things at an A+ level. So that is the E in fear, the expectations that you've applied to yourself, no matter what it is that you might be doing. If you're an analytical person, or you tend to overthink things, or you're a problem solver, expectations that you've put on yourself, or it's going to be easy for you to put up high expectations. So our next letter in our acronym of fear is going to be A. A is avoidance. Why would the avoidance make our anxiety increase? Because the idea of doing anything new brings with it uncomfortable feelings. And because those feelings are uncomfortable, and I don't understand how I might handle them, then I am going to avoid the task altogether, because I'd rather not have to deal with those feelings. That's avoidance. That avoidance is going to cause you to then get upset with yourself and then attach all sorts of labels to yourself, beat yourself up mercilessly until you decide that you're going to have to make a change. So you decide, I'm going to work out, or I'm going to go on this diet, or I'm going to go on this run, or I'm going to do this new class. And then once again, you've put something in front of you that you feel is going to help you feel better about yourself, only to have the same feelings come up, which end up in the same actions, avoidance. If you've noticed, we are putting together circular thought patterns that reinforce themselves. They reinforce themselves by having you beat yourself up. The only way out of these circular thought patterns is to find the clasp that ties them all together. And lastly, on the fear acronym that would keep you from doing new things is going to be R, remoteness. Remoteness from your values, your core values. By participating in whatever it is that you're doing, that action takes you farther and farther away from your values. You see no use in it. You see no purpose in it. Therefore, what's the use? Why would you want to participate in something that is not taking you closer to your goals or what you thought of as your goals? Which all it takes is a realignment of what your goals are, backwards engineer what your core values would need to be, that you would have to engage in to to get to those goals and line them up. So the last one is an understanding of what your core values are, why they're important to you, and why you must engage in them. And to find a why to make the engagement easy, compelling, motivating. Well, the why should be the ultimate goal. And let's talk about the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal should be a bit of a stretch. The ultimate goal should be something to strive for. It should seem to an outside observer a bit ridiculous, a bit grandiose. Why? Because you need to orient yourself to a goal, to a plan that is larger than yourself, something to get excited about. Because life is hard. And every day that you grow older, you're going to find doing certain things a little bit more difficult than the day before. This is why at 46, I still wake up first thing and start working out, beside of all the benefits of feeling better, thinking better, being more present in the day, I continue to strengthen myself. It's also the acknowledgement of perhaps I'm covering up for some other aches and pains that are just there from getting older. And by working out, I can sort of cover them up. I don't have to really worry about, is those pains that I'm feeling from getting old, or is that from the workout that I did yesterday? So to have that main goal, to backwards rationalize core values that would connect you to that goal if you engaged in them on a daily basis, and then arranging your day, your week, and your month, and how you're going to engage in those goals. Those core values. So at the end of the day, you feel fulfilled, and that you see the progress that you made, so that the only thing that you want to do when you go to bed is to wake up the next day and do it again. So guys, I am going to head out. It is 9 o'clock. I got a million things to do today, and it's a bright, beautiful day here in Las Vegas. I want you guys to enjoy your Tuesday and to get after it. Find something awesome to do today. Find something awesome to do today where you can see the smiles of other people around you. Hennessy over in YouTube land, thank you very much. If you're watching this in YouTube or Periscope, shoot me a message. Let me know you enjoy the show. Give it a like. That allows other people to find this show and perhaps find some lessons that will help them. Where is it? 12 a.m. over there. Hennessy, well, thank you for watching. Check it out. Get yourself some good sleep this evening. If you enjoy what I had to speak about today and you want to learn more to enhance your life in business, love, and career, check out the Art of Charm's Communication Accelerator. It has all of our best bits from our online classes, live training programs, and expert guests over the last 15 years to make your life that much better. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow, 8:30. Check it out.